So, without further ado, I would like to bring to this beautiful stage the gorgeous Shé D'Montford. So please, if everyone could stand up, put your hands together for Shé, and let's hear the music. I know you got some good steps in there, Shé. Can we start this? Listen, no. I think you're going to beat me somehow. I think you've been practicing a little bit. So this is a Magick song. So we might have to just move a little bit. Beautiful, get your goddess on. I love that. Let's feel that. Let's feel what it's like to come into that goddess energy. Nice and calm. Bring it into a place of joy and spirit. Yes. I'm there. Yeah. Put yourself up into it. And enjoy. Steady. Well.
All women are goddess. Does anybody disagree with that? You'd be very brave to disagree with me with that. Have a seat. Yeah. All women are goddess. But, as is often said, we are goddesses with amnesia. Right? And we've got to get back to that goddess feeling. How do we get back to that goddess feeling? Right. There are things in our society, especially in Australian society. So as Joe was saying yesterday, Australian society tells us to rise to the middle. Right. And with a group of women, it would be wonderful if the theory was as good as the practice. If we, in theory, support each other, that would be wonderful. But there's a lot of talk about how men suppress women, but women suppress women too. And women suppress women often more than what men do. And I do want to take the opportunity at the start of the day to acknowledge our beautiful men in our lives. My husband has been very supportive of my journey. He's been with me 22 years now. I have 3 beautiful sons. One is 36, one is 33, one is 32. And they've grown into beautiful men who honour their women as goddesses. Because if they didn't, they'd have to deal with me. Bringing men to love the goddess is what the whole idea of chivalry was about. But getting women to love other women as goddess is more difficult. Men have this instilled sense that, if that a woman is something that's worshipful, right? When a man falls in love, he worships his woman. But women, especially in the corporate situation, tend to hammer each other down. There is this feeling of competition. And then we buy into it, right? And then we go, oh yeah, you know what happened to me? Right? And what we end up with is not a wonderful woman who's in the process of learning to know and accept and love herself on all levels, mind, body and spirit. A woman who focuses on personal growth, awareness and experiences increasingly filled with peace, joy, passion and fun. A woman that understands that she has the unlimited capacity to make anything in her life what she wants. A woman who is inspired to give those around her what they need because she knows what she needs. Right? And we know this. I mean, especially every woman in this room knows this, or you wouldn't be here. But then we get with a group of women, and to feel safe, we start telling each other what's wrong in our lives. And we have our little pity parties. Right? Have you ever been with a group of women and they start telling you how many things I'm sick, right? Oh, I was abused. No, I was abused more. No, you couldn't have been abused more than me. I was abused more than you, right? This is not the conversation we want to have with women. We want to turn those conversations around. Because if we participate in these pity parties, we are encouraging other women to feel and be victims to make themselves feel comfortable, to make us feel comfortable. This is one of the hardest lessons that we have to learn as women. That if we're going to support each other, it starts by stopping this. Right? Right? It is good to see that we've progressed beyond it. Right? Guess what? Everybody was bullied. Every man, woman and child on this planet was bullied. Right? All women have a victimization story. So do a lot of men. Right? Everybody has a health issue. But tell me, the people that you enjoy being around, are they the people who talk about this all the time? Or do you like those people that infuse you with energy and take you to the next place? Oh, really? You're doing that? How exciting! I want to do that. I want to be a part of that. Hey, you know what? I've had great success with this. You could do that too. And it's been my great joy to be able to do this with a lot of women. And there's some women here today that I've helped get their books published, that I've taken overseas with me on lecture tours. Kate's waving her book. Right? And once you start to step into all you can be, and thank you very much for the pillar talk yesterday. I love the pillar talk because, you know, health is the middle pillar, right? Health was number 2. It was so important. So really, instead of talking about what's wrong with your health, what can you do to build yourself up? Build your health up. Hey, you know what? I've been doing this with my health and it's been working. This is really working. I'm feeling so much stronger. I'm getting fitter. I had this beautiful Chanel suit made for me, and you know, I would love to tell you today that I went to put on the skirt and it fell off me, right? Because I've lost 11 kilos. But we can't say that in a group of women because we might make somebody jealous. Friggin' heck, if I can lose 11 kilos in 5 months, you know what? You can do, right? And yeah, it's a great Chanel suit, but you know what makes me feel better? I'm gonna have to get another one. Yeah, so the skirt didn't work. I had a major wardrobe malfunction this morning. I had to oh my God, I always lay my clothes. I'm so prepared. Lay everything out the night before, get everything done. I'm always prepared, you know, so far ahead. I got up and put my skirt on and went, whoop. And my husband just cracked up because he's been losing weight with me as well. And he went, oh, I didn't realise you'd been that cuddly. Alright, so that, yeah, it's a nice thing. But hey, we should encourage each other. Not about losing weight or, you know, what weight we are, but about being healthy. Right? We are healthy, strong women. Right? Because if you stay in this victim consciousness and do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And you don't want to stay there. You have the power to improve things. And all you've got to do is realise that you do have the power to do things. And you wouldn't be in this room if you didn't. Alright? Rosie. We know that picture of Rosie? So we've got the ability to be able to do it. When the men went to war, Rosie encouraged all the women to go into the workforce, right, and start doing what used to be male-dominated jobs. I was so happy to hear that women are now the leading traders in Australia. Is that in the world or is that just in Australia?
Well, that was Australia. That was for Massey.
Yeah. Like my son works.
Ireland.
Yeah, it's amazing. My son works right up the top in IT for a Fortune 500 company, and his big thing he's trying to do is get women into programming. So if you're looking at things to train your daughters in where they can earn 5-6 figures, right, in university course, get them into programming languages. My son's learning that. And he's trying, like, even my granddaughter, he's already saying, you want to learn programming, don't you? She's going, I want to be a police officer. He's going, well, that's good. Maybe you can be a police officer that programs all the computers. So let's get them into programming. That's a really big job that's opening up, you know, if you want to get them into a comfortable income. And as I say to a lot of the young women that come to me and ask advice, do what you need to do to get yourself financially established first, and then go on your spiritual journey, right? Because financial protection, like with the third pillar was wealth the other day, which I really related to. If you're not healthy and you don't have that wealth behind you to protect you, you are going to wobble on your spiritual journey. You are going to wobble. You need to make yourself financially secure. You need to be able to see what's coming towards you. Anyway, I've never been able to find out precisely what feminism is. I only know that people call me a feminist whenever I express sentiments that are different from me being a doormat. Right? It's not just men, that's also with women. So we have to not accept from other women when women try to hit us on the head and make us feel less in order to be accepted by a group of them. I have a group of wonderful friends who accept me as I am. You know, as Joe says, this is me, get used to it. Well, in Joe language. So, you know, but I'm not going to be less. I'm happy to be as fit as I am. I'm happy to feel good about myself at 60, right? And at 61, I'm going to be better. So get used to it, you know? You want to know what I'm going to be like at 61? A better version of myself. And I hope you will start saying that every year about yourself as well. So, the way I first started stepping into my power was I had an amazing female teacher. Her name was Kushok. She was a Tibetan shaman who had fled Tibet from Buddhist persecution, not Chinese persecution, and had been living in Australia since 1956. She took me on a shamanic journey, you know, and some people would call her a Dakini. And Dakini is, if you have a look at the Vedic traditions, a Dakini is a goddess, a lesser goddess, a woman who can fly, right? And in the West, what do we call women that can fly through the sky?
Witches.
Oh my goodness. You know, and I'm going to show you today that demonizing of flying women who can fly, and by the end of this lecture, I want you all to be able to fly. Right? But this demonizing actually started in the East and spread to the West, right? Which is really unusual because the female dakinis over there, the female shaman, were a part of everyday life. They would find lost objects, lost sacred objects. This is a photo a friend of mine took of a female shaman finding some lost objects. They do the majority of the healing. Samadhi techniques, they teach you tantric techniques, tantra. And these days, you know, it has this like multi-sex thing, but it is about putting that female spiritual power up. It is connected with our sexuality. I think most of us in this room have at one stage menstruated, gestated, and lactated. Right? That's the power that this comes from. I have no issue with anybody dressing whatever gender they want to, but this innate energy within us cannot be duplicated by the other sex. It just can't. Let's be real. They will never menstruate, gestate, or lactate, right? And these hormonal processes that we go through come from our pituitary gland, which is our third eye. So embracing your femininity and all of your hormonal roller coaster rides that you go through, if you understand what they are, they empower you, right? You know, what if I told you you can turn your hot flushes into raw spiritual energy? And basically what a hot flush is undirected raw spiritual energy, right? You won't be battling them. You won't be so quick to get on HRT. But this is what Kushok taught me. She was definitely past her menstruating stage. And there she is taking the ills out of a person's body and then blowing life force energy back into their body, and that young boy recovered. They were also the chronographers. They would keep time. They would study astrology, mathematics, science. It wasn't just... it is a field that actually encourages your mind to keep expanding. You never learn everything as a shaman. The society in northwestern China that she came out of was matriarchal and is matriarchal to this day. Right? I was really surprised that Marie Claire actually did this article on this town and made it very sensational about free love. But have we ever heard that song Midnight Special? Right, so it's written about this province where the women all get together, have a dance party, and the men gather around the outside in a circle, like stand there like wallflowers, and after the women have finished drinking and dancing, they have a torch and they shine it on the person they want to go home with that night. And he goes, oh! Brushes off with her. So, it is. And there's actually like some interviews on YouTube of these guys that go, I really loved him and she picked somebody else tonight. It's so terrible. Yeah, some of the marriages do last a lifetime, but they don't have a word for long-term marriage, right? It is, you stay with that person as long as you want to. The grandmother holds all of the wealth in the family so that the children are always protected, right? And the paternity is never an issue because you always know who the mother is. So everything comes down through the grandmother. So it is a truly matriarchal society, and China doesn't quite know what to do with it. So, yeah, so it was sort of tolerated. They tried to get rid of it, they couldn't get rid of it, and now it's become a cultural phenomenon. And a tourist thing. Like Western guys go over there thinking they're going to get lucky, but the women think that Western guys don't look good, so they're very lucky. All right, so what we're going to do is start by looking at some goddess energy. Now, when we say goddess, I'm sure your mind will race to a particular goddess. I think Joe's races to Aphrodite over there at the front door. But we've all got some goddess energy that we have related to in the past. I have a deck of cards. Joe was talking about the 44 faces of woman. I have a deck of cards that I was going to launch this weekend, but there was a little bit of it just didn't get printed in time. So these 44 goddesses represent 44 sides of our personality. And to say that we have different sides of our personality is not a schizophrenic thing. Like the way that I talk to my children, I mean, even now that they are grown men with children of their own, is still very different to how I'll go and talk to the guy at the taxation office, or just when they share my information with the dark web. You pull your personalities out depending who you're talking with. Right? I mean, here, hopefully, with all these other amazing, loving, beautiful goddesses, it raises you to your goddess nature. Because these different sides of our personality can be very reactive. And we should own them all. There is no human emotion which is wrong. Get rid of that idea. There is only human emotion that is incorrectly used. Right? So I often come to speak at New Age events all around the world. Right? I do corporate events as well. I've been Queensland Businesswoman of the Year. I've had heaps of businesses. I so relate to that lovely MC of ours over there. And I get invited as a corporate intuitive because I work with Fortune 500 companies all around the world to talk about business. And the proof of the pudding for them is that I've been very successful in business myself. So when I'm dealing with these different things, there are different sides of my personality that come out. One thing that is wrongly used in the New Age movement when I go around is, we should love everybody, love, 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 love. We should correctly use love. Because a lot of people incorrectly use love, right? People can use love as an excuse for making themselves into a doormat, right? Which we don't want anybody to do. And we've seen women keep themselves in situations that are not good for them. Oh, I just love it. I love them. I want to be here. I love them so much. I'm going to stay here and keep being a doormat. No, get up to me, sunshine. Get up. Right? And hopefully that will bring out a stronger side of us, right, to help them out. And we've also seen women who are quite strong use love in an attacking way. They might be having an affair with a married man, and They'll come to me for a reading and go, if it won't leave his alive, I'm going to ring her up and tell her everything and destroy his life because I love him so much. Oh, really? Okay. So love can be destructive, right? It can be very destructive to people's life. You've got to use love correctly. And to balance all of these good, wonderful, beautiful, altruistic feelings, we also have a shadow side. Boom, boom, boom. You have the right to be angry if something makes you angry. Aristotle used to say that the secret of wisdom is to be angry with the right person, for the right reason, to the right degree. Anger is only a problem when we suppress it for so long that it comes out sideways and goes to the wrong degree with the wrong person for the wrong thing. And so often, you know, when I'm counselling men, and on the Gold Coast here, I've had Shambhala Awareness Centre. I know a lot of you know Shambhala Awareness Centre. Happy Medium Publishing Company came out of that. I run charities, all those sorts of things. But I had the first organisation, non-government organisation, that used to take the overflow from the abused women organisations, and they could come out to Shambhala and stay, which usually led to me doing counselling with the husbands. And the husbands would talk about how they had this anger and they're not really angry with their wife. They just couldn't be angry at work. So they came out and they didn't mean it. They didn't mean the anger to come out on their wife. They just suppressed it at work. And she was the safe target. Right? Women can do that too. Women are really good at finding safe targets, right, and having that suppressed aggression. My husband and I have a very unique relationship, and it surprises some people because if we upset each other, or we say it straight away, and it's done. You know? And if something's wrong, it's settled and over quickly, right? Because we'll both tell each other what we think of each other, and then people go, well, hang on, you were angry at each other. And yeah, we discussed that. That was then. Now we're kissing. You know, it's fine. I still love him. Just don't know why he thinks like that. You know, and you know, our partners are individuals. They are allowed to have their own thoughts and anger, aggression, and we will have a look at the goddess of aggression. Because tell me what you feel when you hear about a child being molested. Tell me that's not aggression. You are aggressively protective, and it's needed, right? But finding the right place and the right time to pull that goddess energy out is the secret. So let's have a look at some of these goddesses. And when you go through, for today, I just want you to not focus on all of them. If you want to focus on all 44, get the book, get the deck. I've got the pre-orders. I think in your bags you've got the pre-order thing there. The book has been out for about 10 years and it's been good, still earning me royalties. So when Wanda and I did try to bring a card deck out, but it was too hard. Now it's much easier to do a card deck. So, and I have had my tarot deck in the past, which has become very successful, so I'm about to do a reprint of that as well. If you want to work with more than one goddess, later. To start off with, pick one. And there's a really interesting thing that happens, is because quite often we will pick one goddess and think, oh wow, that's an energy I want to work with, right? And then all of a sudden you realise this other energy is coming in. Oh, hang on. And you realise that a goddess has picked you. And that's very special. And I will talk about that too. All right, so let's have a look at some of these goddesses. Oh, did that move? All right, back, going too fast. Okay, Aphrodite. Everybody loves love. Aphrodite is the goddess that the whole Greek pantheon is terrified of, because if they mucked around with her, she would muck up their love lives. She loves hearing about your love life. All right, so if you've got love issues, have a little altar to Aphrodite, tell her everything. She loves hearing about it. She's the original agony aunt. She is about the love of a man and a woman, but also the love of a child as well. She absolutely adores her son Eros, right, who's the cupids that we see around on everything. Right? So she is also about motherly love, and actually most of the goddesses are about motherly love, even if they are celibate goddesses, and we'll talk about one of those as well. So Aphrodite is wonderful, and if you're not sure what goddess to start with, she's a beauty. She's really good to start with because she's visceral, you feel her. She governs the heart chakra. She governs the sacral chakras. So she actually rules a large part of your body. This is an archetypal energy that is in every woman. Right? They are a part of us and we are a part of them. But like other things in nature, when this energy is collected, it has a personality of its own. So this energy of love within a woman has been being dealt with for millennia under the auspices of Aphrodite. So it's become equable. So even though it's a part of nature, it's something that we can actually really feel. Oop, I'll keep pushing the wrong buttons. Athena. All right, so we want to learn something. We need our lessons. Right? If we're studying something, Athena is brilliant. She's also about creativity, craft. She's also about humility. She was a celibate goddess, right? But her creativity came out in the things that she made. She had a special relationship with Odysseus, right? And there is a kind of sexuality called sapiosexual. I would do a quick IQ test. Who knows what sapiosexual is? Yeah,
Someone who gets turned on by intellect.
Yeah. And it may not be a physical thing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a strange predilection. I like being sapiosexual and I love really tall, really big men. And then I was explaining this to one of my girlfriends and she went, so why are you with Ken? Yeah, we make our rules, then we break our rules. We're allowed to, we're women. Alright, but yeah, intelligence, anything to do with intelligence, the love of intelligence, creating something that's intelligent. If you've got a problem with something you're creating and you can't work it out, she'll be the inspiration. A lot of people turn to her for their art, right? She's also the goddess of civilization. You know, her symbol was the owl. So where you see in our capital cities they make an owl in the roadwork is nothing nefarious. They're actually honouring the goddess, right? They're honouring wisdom, the civilizer, the giver of olive oil, right? What would we do without our olives and our olive oil and our olive branches? Even though she was a war goddess, she brought peace through intelligence. The goddess of single mothers. How many single mothers do we have in the room? I raised my kids by myself. Yeah, that's right. She has 2 sons, Aranhood. She's also the Ker Aranhood, right? The circle of stars in the sky. She is a beautiful Irish. The Irish are so pragmatic with their goddesses. So if you're a single mum and you're wanting a goddess to work with, do some research on her, right? And her 2 sons, right? It was really interesting because her 2 sons are called Dylan and Lucas, and my two sons were Dylan and Lucas. So she was quite special to me while I was being a mum. And I didn't plan it that way, it just happened. Yeah. Beauty. We create the way we look. And I'm not talking about plastic surgery. I grew up here on the Gold Coast and there's nobody in the room that knows me from high school. Although I thought I found somebody the other day, but we don't. Yeah. But in high school I was not the big woman goddess. No. I had what they call sebaceous cysts on my face, which is a really bad form of acne. I was pathetically skinny because I had burgeoning psychic abilities and my mum was very Christian. She dyed my hair bright red before it was trendy to tell people to stay away from me. So the ability to be able to gain beauty. So what I started doing was working with goddesses of beauty, and I put a picture of a cartoon character up. I know, I'd love to have a body like that. So by the time I was 17, I started modelling, and because I hated my head, I'd get all these modelling jobs where it'd be my body and you would see the head. Right, on these modelling jobs, and everybody go, oh my God, you've got the body of a cartoon character. Nobody else has a 21-inch waist. I didn't at the time. But you can create the body you want, you can create the face you want. And working with these goddesses, you can change the shape of your face, you can change the shape of what you look like, right? Have you ever seen a person on the TV who starts to channel a saint, right? And a saint comes in and their face completely changes, right? Blood red is great for that. So the start of spring, which in our southern hemisphere is the 31st of October, right? So we think of that as Halloween because of the northern hemisphere celebration. But the 31st of October and the 1st of November, if you go out and get the dew off the grass, collect it on a cloth, wash your face with it, that is the start of a ritual to communicate with blood red about making you more attractive. Beauty's not always about the outward appearance, right? Beauty shines from within, right? And believe me, if you're going to change the outward, you change the inward first. Your health, your radiance, and your body follows. I'm quite happy with the way I look at 60. Right? I'm quite happy. I still get modelling jobs, I still work in the film industry. If I don't take them, they ring me up and pester me. So, I look, how am I still doing it? But because of blood red influence, you ask her for this, she gives it to you. So when you know the old story, be careful of what you wish for. If you do ask the goddesses for things, be ready to receive it, because you're going to get it. I want to look better. I'd love to make some money out of how I look. Yeah, now I want to be respected for my mind. So you've got to go back and work with Athena. All right. Divorce. Anybody gone through divorce? Hawaiian goddess Hina. She will certainly help you through that. She chose to divorce herself from her husband and sang her way through it. She's also a goddess of music. She's brilliant. Anybody heard of Hina before? Okay, Rhiannon. If you're in pain, Rhiannon will help you get through pain. Salus, health. Ishtar, success. Ishtar is my main deity I work with at the moment. She was the first goddess of civilization. Hecate, Magick. We're starting to work with the shadow side. Lilith, your ability to say no is magical. We've heard that this weekend already. She said no to Adam. She said no to Jehovah God. She's still around. She's very good. No, she's very good at strong energy. Kali is my deity that chose me and my family and protected me and my family. It was wonderful to work with her. Right? We've all seen the Vikings. Right? If you want your feminine power, start to research the Valkyrie. Right? So what happened with this feminine energy, as we said before, it got pinned down in the east in Tibet. There was a goddess of Tibet that was literally the land called Shrinmo. And the Buddhists started to build temples to pin her down. There's an illustration of her being pinned down. Right? And as these ley lines were pinned down all across Tibet, it started to result in a suppression of women in the West as well. We know this happened. There is still physical evidence of it. There are skins of thousands of women in tantric temples all across Tibet and in some of India. Right? You know how we know they're women? They're boy bits. Right? They're definitely female skins. Reinhold Massner found thousands of these when he was going into the tantric temples. They're all women. And in fact, a lot of their Tibetan Buddhist ritual implements are made out of young teenage girls' thigh bones. So that's how bad the suppression of female energy got over there. So I'd just like to finish up really quickly with a chant. I'm going to put my microphone down and I want you to join in with me. This is a chant that a friend of mine came up with called, I can't remember her name, but anyway, we'll just do the chant really quickly because I want you to feel it. You've got 1 minute?
Yeah, absolutely. Just with the microphone.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So this is my shaman drum that Khrushchev gave me. So it's over 300 years old. I love my Asian antiques. I'm actually an antique wholesaler. You'll see some antiques out on the table. So this, right, this chant is not from North American Indians. It's actually from the 1970s, but it works. So I want you to, I'll go through it once and then I want you to do it with me, okay?
Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Stand up. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel your Now, how are you feeling with that little bit of goddess energy? Can you feel it? So if you ever need to, just tap into that chant really quickly, right, and then focus on your chosen goddess. And you'll start to reconnect your goddess energy, even though you may be a goddess in Can you go back? Oh, sorry.
Please.
What do we ask for? Just a chant?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Remember, you can pre-order the book. And if you want to work with me personally with your raising your goddess energy, you're more than welcome to speak to me about that during the break. All right. Every blessing to all of you.
Gosh, I love that drum. We have to have some fun with that later. Shé, thank you. Another clap for Shé. That was magnificent sharing of a lot of wisdom, and to finish it off with that beautiful beat. How earthy is that beat?